miner down in Silicon Bay. He says Satoshi's go still leads the way. I tossed my dollars, jumped into the trade. Now every hash is how I get paid. The charts were red, but I held tight, dreaming of Lambos in the moonlit night. From zero to hero, wallet's my throne. Decentralized life, I'm never all alone. Crypto, ooh na na. Half my funds are locked in blockchain, na na. I took a chance on Bitcoin, now I'm stacked, na na. Can't stop this wallet, no, ooh na na. Crypto, ooh na na. Traded fiat for some ether, na na. Holding tight through dips, I'm never flat, na na. This ledger's mine, oh yes, ooh na na. NFTs flashing, I'm buying the art. Gas fees are stealing a piece of my heart. NFTs flashing, I'm buying the art. Gas fees are stealing a piece of my heart. Flashing, I'm buying the art. Gas fees are stealing a piece of my heart.
Ooh, modern crypto near moon. Ooh, yeah. Swaying through my tomb, street roamer, born where shadows sigh. Cryptos calling neath the trader sky. Meme scam stole my stack, left me alone and blue. Lost my one true track, bull run slipped on through, yeah. When you lose your one and only, ooh, there's no tears here for the lonely, yeah. Crypto neon moon, swaying soft and free. Ooh, clean lights my dreams, where my memories be. Moon's my gain, pushed his junk to win, left me in pain. FOMO's lonesome cry, took my last and dime. Gas fees drifting by, stalled my time.
Sounded like they were Sally's or something.
When you lose your one and only, there's no tears here for the lonely, yeah, yeah. Crypto neon moon, swaying soft and free. Lights my dreams, where my memories be. Woo! Crypto neon moon, moon, moon. Oh, 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 I sank in dusk, felt the scam's cold sting. Ooh, yeah. Now I sway with trust, bull runs my fling. Yeah, yeah. Steel drums hum, my spark, my plea. Ooh. Crypto's my glow, island moon for me. Woo! When you lose your one and only, there's no tears here for the lonely, yeah, yeah. Crypto neon moon, swaying soft and free. Ooh, clean lights my dreams, where my memories be. Woo! Crypto neon moon, ooh, yeah, swaying to my tune. Ooh. Crypto neon moon. In the world of digital gold, watch it rise and fall. Midnight trades and wild parades, no sleep at all. Fortunes built in seconds, blink or lose it all. Miners dig while dreamers cling to crypto siren call. You can stop me out, you can stop me out, stop me out. I'll just buy again, I'll just buy again. Ladies
and gentlemen.
Here
they are. The turkey's about ready to come out of the oven. Get ready.
Fear and greed in constant dance. It's a crazy town.
Emos and fries with
Every
that.
dip and spike for fortune to be crowned. You can stop
Eat me, Sean.
Stop me out. Stop me out. I'll
Just hit the button, Sean.
again. I'll just buy again.
Just wait on you, Sean. Just hit that button.
Wouldn't take me, but you just wait and see. You can stop me out. You can stop me out. Stop me out. I'll just buy again.
Oh, you're talking to me.
I'll just buy again.
Yeah, this little button went to the market. This little button didn't work last time I touched it. This little button is definitely broken. And this little button looks like it says home. What is that one there?
For those of you
Okay. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Let me dial this stuff down, way down. Music's been way too loud the last few streams anyway. I think we're going there. This is the wrong song to start out with. That one's a little bit too punchy. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Late night crypto with the Road Dog. Hey, I'm that little turkey that nobody's talking about. Hey, look what's going on. I did a little stream today. And I don't know, we've had some crazy price action. What weird ass price? Well, not weird, but it's just today she's been a little up and down with all the FOMC, all that good stuff. And apparently, market's reacting pretty decent to all of that. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay, make sure our microphone is on. Sounds a little bit funny on my end. All right, so look at the SPX Standard & Poor's 500. This is, how I track what the big boys are doing on Wall Street, technology stocks, all that blah blah blah, boring stuff. That not just I don't hang out in that world. I've got a camp, but this is not where I hang out. Definitely have some just long-term hold plays over there. Mostly MicroStrategies and Tesla, which I need to check on them. They kind of went south a little bit. Looking here, that's nice. They got a little bounce area. Now, you can come down to the area down here that I think that they still might be able to hit 3.2 Fibonacci. But everybody's freaking out about this one, them just losing a little. But it does have this. When we take our Fibonacci reading over here, we are at a level where we're going to bounce there. There's a good chance that we're ready to come back up, at least here to the 618 area. About 5,924. So that's basically blah, 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 nerd speak and everything. We're getting to bounce at a good pivot point right now for SPX. That's good because when this one's happy, our market with Bitcoin and crypto is generally pretty happy. Come down here, we got the dollar is continuing on its decline down. Does look like that might be a very possible bear flag scenario. Now, she may hang around here to do some stuff. I don't know. We never know. We never know. She had a fall. She had a rising wedgie, and that's good. And those things hurt. And when they finally let go, things go down. You might have to run and go tuck your pants. I don't know what kind of analogy I'm trying to use there, but it's not working. Anyway, we can use our same little. That's not it. I was going to use the same little trick over here just to kind of measure this guy because I've not done that yet. Is that going to stay there? And ooh, beautiful. All that one. We're sitting at a 1414. Were you how did you get that? You should be how would I do that? I'm trying to do the backward engineering here. 618 from there, right? Okay, gotcha. All right, sweet. Sweet. I'm just back testing some of these theories here. I'm trying. I think this is that looks like she's at a bottom area too. So that makes me wonder. We really want this one to continue down, and I'm wondering, will she? I'm going to change this little guy to I don't know. How about we just remove him altogether? I haven't used him in a while anyway. We might have an area to catch here. I don't see signs of it just yet, but we've been holding this area down here, the DXY. I'm going to keep my eyes on that. Now, usually, if this guy will keep falling, that's good for us. I did notice that I think the dollar against the pound. I was looking at that, I noticed that they're doing pretty good now. It looked like we kicked their butt for a while. I wasn't aware of that. wasn't really paying attention to that. Here's Bitcoin dominance. This is what I do pay attention to, and we're getting to a little area where we're standing. We might want to look at that chart alone. This is the one that's taken the show. This is we pointed this out, and now we're finally getting the signs of it. We're getting a little rally for altcoins coming, so all that money we've been down, if you didn't capitulate, well, you got a chance to see it start coming back, or if you can find some positions. And that's what I'm kind of interested in doing right now on the trader side. Maybe finding some good little altcoin positions. Maybe I can get in on a BitUnix and try to grow that account back. So that's kind of cool. I like all of that. Let me come over to the chat, make sure that you guys can hear me before I start getting into Bitcoin over here. We'll go with that real quick. Your dog is feeling tired tonight. I don't know how long the stream's going to last, but we'll go. We'll try to push it for at least an hour. I'm sure that can come out pretty easy. Let me give a shout out to everybody. We got Duality Crypto. How's it going, my man? Bullish on crypto. Feeling spicy today, Chris Klein. Shout out to you guys. Ryan K, Captain Crypto. Glittery Marshmallow, glad to have you back. Floki's Angel, Rogue Glide. Joe from Trade Intuition, fellow YouTuber, always give him a shout out. Go check out his channel. I'm sure his links will come up. There's a way to do that. And some of the mods know how to do that. My little thing over here is broken or is janky. Oh man, are you not working tonight? I may not be able to do some of the stuff that my hand clappies don't work. Oh man. Mercury in retrograde. That is also that's usually a choppy time in the market. And definitely not great for electronics or computers and stuff. If you notice you're having a lot of trouble logging in places, frustrated, it's not business, commerce, banking, crypto. We fall into that category too. Some wild stuff going on with Mercury's in retrograde. There's some other things lining up too, and I used to keep up with that a long time ago. Some of you guys, I think, are a lot more tuned into that right now. And I love to hear those updates, about the little planetary things. That oh my God, astrology. There's a lot of analysts that do kind of lean over toward that, and WD Gann was one of them. Now he didn't apply like, oh my God, the moon is in Aries. You don't want to go outside today, dear. No. he actually used the angles of the planets and things like that. He had a very unique system, but it did involve the planets. And things like that. And there will be signs of wonders in the skies in the last days. And your children shall be prophets. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. And Dynamite, how's it going? Sin, Ryan K, MG Motorsport, how's it going, my man? And Tommy 2 Liters, how about the 411 on Doge? I'm trying to look at some of this. I'll try to remember to come back to this. I'm still waiting. I'm kind of off my. I usually go to the news, and Lair GG's not been posting lately. He's been taking a little bit of a break, and then ask for requests and come back, and I can kind of hone in on those. I'm kind of off sync since we don't have a little news thing. There's Jack and Kelly L. Good to have you. We've got Dave Violet. Now, is this thing going to work? Well, this part works. My other one's not working. That's crazy. I got two stream decks, and one of them works, that one doesn't. I am still planning on doing Chart School live Thursday, 8 p.m. I'm going to get back on schedule with that. That will be tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time. So that would be cool. That's for you guys to sign up for the $3 memberships or gifted memberships, because that happens a lot around here. Just there's some stuff over there. If you're interested in just learning a little bit more detail about the strategies and how I analyze things, especially how I'm using fibs and things like that, we're getting into that right now. Bullish on Parade, what's up? There we go. There, J Violet's got me taken care of right there on Joe's link. And we got Sicario. How's it going? Who needs CBD oil when this market puts you to sleep? I know. I am very tired in this market. I was looking at Bitcoin and I was like, you're just boring the crap out of me. Streaming earlier today, during, I guess, the FOMC, and I wasn't really here. I was out running errands and everything. It's just so boring. I was like, oh man, you shouldn't have even strummed today. It's just there. But then it finally started taking off a little bit. But it's slow. It's slow. The volume's not really there, I've noticed. There's Strega. What's going on, Strega? You taking any profits today? I haven't taken profits today. I've got my set and forget strategy that I've kind of explained here for my plan on Bitcoin. Kind of leads into where we're going. Where I'm talking. Since I got a bigger picture over here, I want to explain how I'm looking at this market, and kind of, you know, it's going to get interesting because all the narratives that you've been hearing so far. Yeah, they're getting ready to flip the script, man. You're going to see people bull run ready to just we're going to 140,000. They're going to flip the script where they were extremely bearish, and you're going to start seeing them YouTube thumbnails come out. Them big old measure moves taking us up to 150,000. You're going to start seeing all that come out. I think it's a little bit too early, but I will keep going over what my overall strategy is, because this is a point where, you know, everybody's afraid that when we start getting a run up, the number's never going to stop. And in history with Bitcoin, to be fair, that happens. And at one point, yeah, that bottom is going to be that final flush that bottom, and we're gonna say, gosh darn it, I played that wrong. You didn't have your bags packed, and so that's that idea too. But WD Gann, we're relying on a little trick by WD Gann, which is just a simple concept we just got to keep in our mind, and it works. It works very effectively. Get that old coffee going, yeah. Chris M says, who thinks this is going to fall to 84, 82 area and bounce from there full power? We'll look at those ideas. There's a lot of things that it can do, really. Oh, wow. You guys got chat rates going up. That's cool. Got 23 people hanging out. Sweet. The eyes, how's it going? I am blessed today. Sin says, I was wondering whatever happened to Marin Altman. I remember her. So that's cute. And she's very knowledgeable about that area. She was really good with that astrology. Yeah, she was really. I'm sure she's still around. I'm sure she'll come back as soon as things are going. Wasn't she more of a TikTok kind of girl and maybe a little Twitter? I don't know. I remember her. And let's see, there's another one I got confused with her, but she did something else. I hadn't seen her. She wore a lot of blue lipstick. Anyway, but Marin Altman, yeah, she had those eyes too. Kelly Ascend. Okay, I think we're through here. Love the variety of blazers. I've been laying up. Yeah, that's something I like to do here. I can't find the ones I really want to kind of get, but I'm still out there looking. I need to go back home to Nashville. I can find them there. All right, ladies. Let me get back to we were talking about something. Taking profits today. Yeah, okay. So here we are at the daily for Bitcoin on a relatively clean chart. I got the 50 from here to there, just like what we measured back over here when we were tracking this run and this run. 50% pullback on the market here. Come back to the 0.5 Fibonacci. And that was for relative to that point in the market. That's good. Now, we used to always looking for the 618s. Okay, there was a point where I was focusing more on the 786s and 886s. It all depends on the part of the market here. And we're in mid-bull run, and I guess that's the easiest way to remember. If we're in mid-bull run, maybe the 0.5, the midpoint. We gotta look for more of them. It gets a little bit more exciting. We're gonna be looking for the 382s, and boom, could get a nice little pump on the next. No, it's an idea if we see those scenarios. We'll just see, because here's some bigger picture ideas. Where you at, Elliot? Elliot has got us in this weird wave count, totally forgetting about these guys over here, but that's okay. I mean, I guess we can just, squint our eyes and hey, I'll just put we'll put them over here, Elliot. Oh, look. Where are they? Oh, they're not there. We don't have to count them then. Okay. Anyway, it got a 5-wave count up here. And then we did an ABC correction. Even interpretation is this at the bottom. We're getting ready to go up and do another 5-wave count. So that's kind of cool. Now on the weekly for Elliot, he's got, I like this one. Now this one fits in with the cycle. Elliot, I hope that you're right, man. That would mean that you are finally, after you work out the kinks, because it will flip flop on you. This indicator here. It does. The other day you said this. Now you said this the other day, Elliot. And he's like, I didn't. It was a speculation. It's a speculation. Oh, no, you said it. No, we just put it out there. We're saying it could be this, but it might be this, but it probably not, but it could be. That's what's annoying to me about Elliott Wade. Because it's a little bit more subjective. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. But that's the emotion. That's just the frustration I've experienced with it. But this little indicator that, you know, I like to put on here, get his opinion every once in a while. And a lot of times it's there. I mean, after he flip-flops a few times, but he'll figure it out eventually. But this is a nice one. I was thinking, well, this pullback, ABC correction, remember that? This is part of the bigger picture, which goes across cycles. Giving us, buddy, we're getting ready to blast off. And so we might start seeing some more of these things out here. The ideas talked about. And I mean, we're talking 142,000. Bullflag to the upside. Ooh, look at this big cup and a sending drunken cup and handle to the upside. And we got 183, 250,000 ideas. So, I mean, those ideas are there. They could be valid, I've always now been saying the weekly MACD or the weekly Ichimoku Cloud, she's been very supportive. Moving averages on the bigger time frames, they look great. And look, this idea is not off point for a bigger picture. This whole run, the 50 moving averages has had our back. That's the deepest pullbacks that we really want to look for a strong bull run. And when we start losing the 50, targeting 100 and all that, that run is way tired. This one, bouncing off the 50 gives you a nice recovery because you get back above the 9 moving average. That would be awesome. And as long as we don't get across here, and look, she's trying not to cross. Trying not to cross right there. This is some good signs. I'm going to draw a little thing. It looks like some kind of little dolphin fish, if I had to guess. Mackerel, I don't know. Put a little fin here. You see it? The little dolphin. They say they'll stick you if you give them a chance. I don't know. Anyway, we got the old dolphin, hopeful, pitiful eyeball. Anyway, there's a chance to recover and that this guy, that would be cool if we got like a glance of just see the 9 moving average ricochet off of that 21. That can happen. We need some bullish candles to happen. I mean, we need to start coming up here to 90, 92, 95, 90, whatever, something. We need to start hitting the 90s. And I gotta say, for my strategy, one of the things I struggle with is that when things start going in my favor and then, my targets start getting hit, I start saying, well, maybe, whoa, maybe you're selling off too much. No. Maybe but I'm changing that mentality. That mentality is just, it's got me into those situations and drawdown that I don't like to be in. So I'm going to be more aggressive in profit taking. And the only thing that would just suck, which is probably how luck would have it, is this is the wrong time to do that, old dog, because we're getting under the blast off. This is where you should be packing up. But that's where I'm going to rely on the wisdom of WD Gann. To help me navigate what I'm to try not to screw up anything else in the rest of this market. A lot of the OG strategies that were put to play, they worked out a little bit different, especially when it comes to altcoins, right? My whole idea of being in altcoins is only to grow my Bitcoin, and I gotta say that has not been the effect. Letting you know straight up, and even my little test market over here, when I went over here with just buying Bitcoin on paper trading, because they offer it on TradingView. And I went, mostly Bitcoin. Now, the negative ones are the altcoins, except for maybe a few Bitcoin, or one Bitcoin purchase was down. But that lets you know Bitcoin has been the winner in this game. Now they did something weird over here, and I don't really know what's going on, but it was a $100,000 account, and we got it up to 3 million. And now I don't know what this leverage thing is. That wasn't there before. I don't know. That's a paper trading account though. But I used it. It's helping me just really, really recognize how strong Bitcoin is against these things. And the idea that everybody's on, yeah, that's a boomer coin. Yeah, you might get 2 or 3x out of Bitcoin, man, but you're going to get 100, 200, 50, 100x out of altcoins, man. Altcoins the way to go. Hey, man, if you're not in these meme coins, you're not going to, we got that all stuff. I see some of those guys coming back. The meme coin guys are coming back again. And that's reflected in the charts too. Let me get Elliott Wave off of there and start coming back. So that's some ideas. Let's go back to the daily. Where are you at daily? What's most significant about the daily is the recovery of the 200. The attempted recovery of the 200 moving averages on here in the daily. That situation that we were hoping for, And we talked about some, man, we would need a good, strong price action so we can get this guy to do a U-turn. Remember, we had that discussion. It was like, that's what we were hoping for. Yay! And then now we got a chance to get this guy, the little 9 daily moving average, because that's the one that we can manipulate the easiest. Get him to cross bullish over that yellow line. Then that will confirm that we got some up. So with the time to just get all in, no, not necessarily, but it's not a bad time to build a position in something. It's a good time to get a low leverage. I'm gonna 100x position on Bitcoin. But the thing that we're looking for is we've got to see if we're changing. We've been on a downtrend. We got to see that trend change. And the only way that changes is that we got to make a higher high than one of these last highs that we had. And then from there, we got to make a higher low. Now, ideally, this one is the one we got to come out to. So we might actually see, what might actually see us come up here. And then that's when a lot of people say, I knew I said went in heavy down there, but no, Road Dog said don't do it. I didn't say don't do it. I'm just saying be cautious, because here's the scenario. I'll just break it down before I talk about it. What I need to see is confirmation that we come up, and I would like to see us at least get up to 100,000. That would at least clear this area for a higher high. That to me would be the confirm a trend. And when you get a higher high, you know what happens? They don't go too much higher. That's why the breakout trading strategy from level to level, that was why that one kind of hurts so much if you go all in at that strategy buying the breakouts. That's why I don't do that. But what is helpful is the little fibs, because they help you get that little higher place, and because there's always a higher low coming, right? Once you get that higher high, what I learned and how I would play it. That's one of the strategies I learned was to buy horizontal breakouts, and that's also a bot strategy too that you could do back in the way how you do it on anything. I guess the bot I used was, I guess they're still in business, is Gunbot. Man, that's a cool, I don't even know how much it is anymore, but I need to just get my other computer up and get that little guy running. Boom, runs almost over. I should get him set up again. I paid for him. He's lifetime thing. Open source thing. Here we go. So higher high, the next thing we're looking for is that higher low. That's the one that we want to target. So that we get all excited and the excitement out of the way. Oh man, everybody's chasing. Everybody in this market is chasing green candles. And man, I'm looking at things today. I'm like, I want to chase. I'm telling you, I want to chase, but I'm not doing it. Although I will look for some trade setups for some altcoins. I'm interested in looking for some altcoin trade setups right now. And maybe just a few little perpetual places on Bitcoin. I'm looking at trading some small things. Today I was being a little degen, and I was playing around with that 100x thing, just trying to see. I can see why people do, because if you do that and just use a few dollars, but the return on it, I didn't see. I don't know. I didn't see much of anything come of it, but that's what I was playing with today. But anyway, as the price pumps, everybody's chasing it, and we get to our higher high areas, and market makers, well, they did what they're supposed to do, and now it's time for them to get paid. And so we come down, and when you break a trend line, you got that somewhere in the for most of them, it's somewhere around 65% chance to come back and retest the breakout area, or worse, maybe even lower on that trend line. That happens too. You never know. But the general rule is to come back and that's a good thing. So we're looking for the higher low, and this is where everybody's going to be scared. Oh no, we're going back. And they're going to say, yeah, 1, 2, 3. We're coming back to 60. We're coming back to $50,000. There'll be those guys out there, and we'll be scared again. Oh no. But that's when you'll have dry powder, or my game plan is to have the dry powder to catch that higher low. Because even with Wyckoff theory, once you jump the creek, you find a last level of support. So there's going to be some, this translates over to the higher low. Wherever it is, we're going to look for that. And that's the place that I'm going to work on making sure that my bags are packed. Altcoins even, but more heavily so on Bitcoin. So that's my game plans. That's what I'm looking at big term, and what I'm looking at. Right now, my strategy that I'm doing right now, and what I've said before, that's my. I know that we got to come up here and make a higher high, and if we keep on going to the moon, that's what I'm risking with right now. Oh no! maybe they got me. Gosh darn it. But the beautiful thing about it is I got the dry powder, and at some point there will be a higher low. So if she come up here, there's going to be a higher low. Until that one day there's not, but then there will be. There's always what goes up, it comes down, and sometimes it's a higher low, and sometimes it starts doing a lower low, and sometimes that trend starts changing. But wherever I've got, if I need to start chasing, I can start chasing because I got the dry powder. But that would be the worst decision ever. Sean, stay away from my freaking Tangem wallet, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, only buy on red days, says Kelly L. It's so hard to do sometimes. That's it. Man, there were so many times. How many times in this market recently did it make your stomach feel bad? Make it. Those were the days to buy. According to, the legends, even the Rothschilds buy when there's blood in the streets. I think they were German. I think that wouldn't sound so English. I'm not going to attempt that. I would butcher that. Okay, so here's some ideas here on the 4 hour I think we ought to be aware of now that we got bearish crossings going on over here on the bigger moving averages. Again, this is up around, we need to get up about 100,000. That's the level I'm looking to make a higher high. Maybe we want to come up to a higher high here. That's not, oh man, that just really doesn't do it for me. It doesn't really do it for me on that one. Could happen, but even though 600, 800, we can look at those areas as being definitely going to be resistance areas at any of these bigger moving averages, but it can extend past that before it catches up with you and you kind of come back down. So there's some wiggle room when it comes to these moving averages, whether you get rejected at them or if you go up above them a little bit. But still, I call it the flipping, and when they're starting to do that, that's a ribbon flip. And the only one saving us is, believe it or not, the one that I don't trust at all is the little devil Curl Lucy, the 666 moving average. Guarantee you we will be going to talk to her. We just do. I just boldly go out there and say I guarantee you. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be speaking like that. That's not proper. That's not responsible speaking. But I'll guarantee you there is a strong chance that we will maybe find ourselves talking to her, because we just usually do. But that to me, that gives me strategy, an idea and leaning to that we can finally just go up there to that high area and look for something like that. Look, shoulder, is that a neck? Shoulder, goiter, and shoulder head, goiter. No, that's a trapezius shoulder. Look, I can't get over this. I'm gonna start. I'm the little bat that's gonna dump you. Oh, I don't know, little guys. Got all due respect for what I see there. Have you looked at this? This is what you could be looking at. This is a mirror. That this is going to might freak you out. How price mirrors. I think we talked about. I think that's one of the things that Clipping Marshmallow. I think that's one of the things that you heard me talk about one time. I think it was you, maybe somebody else. But here's an idea that might freak you out. But what if? But this is kind of cool. Can you see kind of it's like it's split in the middle. Can you see that? Can you see that? But here's a crazy idea. If I can get this to do, is that you? Mirrored. Oh, no, that's not flipped. How about mirrored and flipped? No, oh my God, can you just not, I just want you to, that should be mirrored. Mirror should do that. Or did it do it? And maybe I just got to drag it over? No, that looks, clearly we're having a boomer moment at the moment. Or I give up. Just thought. Or maybe that's, oh, that is it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look at how, that's what everybody I think was afraid that was going to happen right here. That's what I feel like it could happen. Woo, look, there's our $66,000 target right down there. But instead, we got something different going on. But there is that. Can you see how it did kind of follow it? I don't know. Those are just some interesting things about some of these TA things. Glad it didn't go that way though. That would have sucked. Looking for a channel idea, and this kind of a wide idea. Maybe we're getting that partial decline. That's what we look for channel ideas. And you know, all these things are valid that you're looking for. As long as you got 2 touches on one side, 3 on the other, you got a valid pattern. This is some people call it a cylinder. It's a Livermore cylinder. It's a bullish megaphone. It's an opening broadening wedge. There's so many different things, and you know, if you can slap your own name onto it, makes you sound like a genius. Well, this is a Road Dog newspaper correction pattern to smack the dog. I don't know. But 72% chance that these break to the upside, especially once they form a little area here where it stops. It's called a partial decline. That means, it stops dropping. That's what it means. So that's cool. And then the breakup area, you can take a measured move, but basically, you know, you can always look at the top over here. It comes out. Honestly, it comes out usually around the 618 area right here, which is one of those areas that we've been looking at anyway. And that's one of the guys that we need to start going for. Now, hopefully, if we're pulling the moving averages out or the Fibonacci's out, we're also looking for that 102 area. That's the great area that we can make our higher high on. And once we get going in that direction, that's where a lot of people will be looking at for maybe that same idea. Until we get there, we're going to have the people that just flip bull on bull, and you can't. No, this is it. This is the bottom, and it could be. And that's what sucks right now, because we don't know. Is this the Wyckoff? This could be the Wyckoff screen, and then we're ready to jump the creek and going over. There's lots of things that can be happening here, but the bigger time frames were telling us. You know, we're not out of the woods, and what could be happening is some form of rollover, taking us up wherever. And I'm sure that theory will still go. The biggest thing I'm looking, you know, I'm on the trend line, and if we break out of it, I'm taking that as bullish regardless. But I do know that we can go up, and then we can come back for a retest. And remember that if we can just get up above here, confirm for me that we are on an uptrend, then that's the clue that I'm really looking for. And we got time for that to happen, believe it or not. I think so, especially with this bearishness going on right here. That's it. We're going to have to wiggle through here, so there could still be some chop for a while. Even if things go really bullish, we might be just ranging, you know, just maybe right under here, maybe just right back over here for a little while. We don't know. We just got to take it step by step. But the rule of the game is trend change. We got to confirm that we're breaking this downward trend. That's the number one thing. I think I'm going to put that up as a rule, just as a reminder here, because where are we at? This is the Binance chart. Okay, I'm going to start doing this more often. How would I do that number? I don't want number one. Well, I want to remember confirm trend change. High, low. I just want to keep that up there. The little things I see that sometimes it's easy for me to forget when I get down on the little smaller time frames. I want to keep like little post-it notes. TradingView, you need to have a little post-it note icon here, and we can leave little sticky notes. That would be the coolest thing ever. That would be the coolest thing ever. Because I ain't doing a trading journal. Sorry. But I do a sticky note. I'm just saying. So it also makes sense. Here's, you know, we'll see these ideas, and this is very valid. Look, shoulder, I don't know, a little pimpy head and shoulder to the downside. That's all over, everybody. Bull market's over. Man, we're totally in the bear market, and we're just in a downtrend. We're in a corrective phase. As you saw with Elliott, even Elliott sees that as being a corrective phase. C wave, very well. And then we start we'll start looking for our other 3 bumps and a dump, 3 pumps and a dump. But we gotta keep an eye on this one in my opinion, those moving average. That's a clue. That also supports this idea that this channel that we were in, that's a channel. We come back up and retesting, come down, or just maybe this is where we try to get into a different range. I mean, there's lots of things that can go on. We're not out of the woods yet, ladies and gentlemen. We need to just kind of make some reminders. Hey, man. don't feel like you're missing out on everything. That you got to just bail in. But there can be some good opportunities, and this is why I wanted to take a look at altcoins like Total 3, because it's starting to look good now, right? With a little breakout from here, but we're still got a lot to do. See, we got some flipping going on. The 300 crossing the 800. That's not good, but we can still come back up here then in this area. So same thing going on with altcoins. We could be working on, up, down, sideways. They will be doing that kind of stuff. That was actually kind of cool. But eventually break up, getting up through here, higher high. That'd be good. Higher low. I might want to think about. I want to have dry powder ready for this. So there's lots of good opportunity to come back up to areas that we saw. Wish I could say there were the areas that we saw in December, like up here, but no. But maybe back in February, maybe we have some. So we should be getting some gains on some of the altcoins, and some will outperform the others. But it looks like the meme coins they're the first ones to start rallying now, and they usually do when we're getting. That's a sign of a good little run that we might be getting a good little run, a little rally coming on. I'm taking advantage of that and getting paid on it. Then going to be focusing on which projects that I want to get into, because I think you got plenty of time to start making up your mind on altcoins, because they give it up and they give it to you, and then they take it away from you. Here is that pattern. You see that the little, I don't know, the triple. It's a variation of a triple top, and with the one with it's like it has a little pinhead. If you try to look at it as a head and shoulders pattern, they're more nasty. I think they're much more nasty. Anyway, see, that one came down a lot. Did that one actually make its measured move? I mean, seriously, they're supposed to put it to the lowest valley, and that's actually it's just like taking a nope, not by what I'm getting. Thank goodness. So I want to check the fibs here just to see the temperature. See how strong this move is doing. Ooh, bounce off a 618 meter. That actually points us up to this area about $1.4 trillion actually. That frees us up to possibly be going there though. That would be good, because that would be topping out December. That's just us being hopeful. Remember, we got a lot of stuff, but that can happen over time. Just getting over to there, so it's possible. But me drawing it up there, putting it as a possibility, is not telling you about all the chop that we can be working for to get there. That would just be one of the high pivot areas. There could be a lot going on to get there, as you can see. But this is kind of promising, but we've not made it out of the woodwork. We don't have a breakout just yet, but she's trying to do something. So my game plan is to be taking profits on altcoins as we go. This is the 4 hour, and we're still not bullish. We're at resistance, the 200 moving average. I'm going to come over to the daily and check that out. Here's what we need to look at. This is what's so good about the altcoins right now. We're also at that 200 moving average, trying to reclaim it. Now, we haven't cleared it yet, and that's going to take we're on the daily, so we got to wait for a few candles to confirm. Now, she's had a bearish cross already of those bigger moving averages, so she needs a little bit more push. Elon, you got to put a little bit more of punch behind that rocket fuel to get us up here, but we could be coming up here. Another few... With another $20 billion coming in, I could at least see that, hopefully more. That would be awesome if we can get above here. So I think it's good to track these on the daily. The bigger time frames will guide you for what's going to happen. In the warning signs, a lot better than get caught up in the small time frames. Even today, when I was down there on that 1 minute and 10 second, I was like, man, this is I would have got to get out of this. This is just. And it's fun to play with and test out the things and find the levels and play with your TA. The small time frames are great just to break down. And one of the things I used to like to do is get on them, and you do that. You'll just play whatever little idea, and it's just kind of like you condense the time you're in the market. You can sit here and watch it play out on the bigger time frames, cycle after cycle, and when this happens, that happens. But if you scale it down to the smaller time frames and apply your ideas, you say, it plays out. You see the same things happen. It's a good way it's like playing the video game version of TA. It's fun. It's what makes it does make it kind of like a video game in a way when you get down the smaller time frames. It's fun. and it helps you sharpen up, well, this, I expect this to happen. Oh, it didn't happen. Well, okay, why? Then you can start looking in, and because it all plays around the same. It's just sometimes it plays out a lot quicker, or a lot wilder, but it's cool. Let me come over back to the chat here. I think we got a super chat going on. Hey, am I correct here? Kelly L, can you look at global M2 sandbox indicator? I can. Thank you for the super chat. Are my hand clappies working? My hand clappies are not working. Why though? Why are they not working? If I unplug you, are you going to do anything? You usually don't. Except for screw things up. Hand clappies, are you working? All right, let's try this idea. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull that up. I don't have that already up here. Let's go. Let me take that off and indices. I don't know that I don't know that I'm getting the right sandbox indicator. Are we talking about is that it? The sandbox? No, that's, what the hell? Oh, that's our crypto. Let me, I'll look and see if there's anything coming in the chat there. Until then, let me try it over here and let me just Google it. Global 2. Okay, but, is it an indicator? I have no. Is this on? This is on my screen. There's my thing. I don't have this. Let's go to the chart. Let's go to the chart. Let's go to the chart. I don't know. I'm very confused here. Oh, type in global 2. Okay, let me get back to. Oh, I'm on a different window here. Let's close that. Type in global M2. Sandbox. M2. That's a. Is it M2? Is that it? That's a company though. Is that what we're looking for? Are we looking for an indice? I found it. Is it this one? Oh, it's an indicator you were on it. Ah, the one I closed now. I don't really know how that worked. It's an indicator? Oh, okay, I see. Because I added it to my favorite over there. Okay, let's. What the hell is this? It looks cool. I don't know how to read it quite yet. I guess I would have to go back over there. I can check it on those are my levels, right? And those are lines I put on there. Yeah, here we go. Over the last 6 days, over the last 30 days, a 36% correction. Last 60 days, a 48% correction. And I guess it's just an overlay of M2 on the chart. I guess is how I'm just immediately guess. I don't know how to respond to it, but it is cool. I'll see if I can look into it and figure something. How you're scaling it to? I'm not really sure how to read it. What the hell? Let's go to the weekly. We're on micro Bitcoin futures here, MBT1. I got a good chart. Well, this is what altcoins total 2. Well, actually, altcoins look like against it. This is what the dollar looks like against it. Correlation. It looks interesting. And so it's, why is it ahead? Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly what it's going to be telling us right now, but we got it on there. I'll keep it there in the background. That's an indicator you were on it. You just have to set the days to offset it. It shows when the M2 money supply hits the U.S. economy. I'm really new to M2 as well. Jim probably knows a lot more about that than he would probably be a good person to ask questions about that. All right, let me see if I can get back. Thank you for the super. Is it Cane Clappy's working? Cane Clappy's working. Thank you for the super chat, man. This looks like one of the chart. This is a chart we were. That's probably on one of the little streams. Bullish divergence going on there. So that's playing out kind of nice. So we got our little double bottom. The idea that's not confirmed, but can you see the bigger double bottom at play here? I'm on the 1 hour time frame here on Bitcoin, and that would be this kind of idea is what we're looking for. So automatically we're looking to come up here about 95,000. Just if you're a pattern trader looking for what might be going on here. Now, I don't know, is this, what kind of double bottom you looking at? You gotta squint your eyes. Well, do we have to name it? It looks like it's a double ding-danger. Looks like, ooh, Adam's got an anomaly right there. Underneath, I don't know. Anyway, they all work the same, man. They all have an area. They're all basically a channel, a horizontal channel, for real. They just got to come up here and then break out and then confirm, and then you got a measure move that you can apply up there. You know, it's the easiest way to kind of just break this stuff into little things like that. Once you wrap your idea around channels, things just kind of get a little easier when it comes to pattern trading. It just does. I don't have to worry about this kind of bottom or is it this kind of bottom, because they all do the same thing. They bottom. But we got a good chance to be working on the bottom pattern or confirmation area here. That's good. That means Bitcoin's going to skyrocket up. You feel like, oh, for me, I got little areas I'm taking profit along the way, and right now what's messing with my head is like, oh, you're selling too early, road dog. So that little voice is going to be gnawing at me for whatever else for a while here. But that's what I've chosen to do, and I'm sticking with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn our attention over to the altcoins, if you don't mind. See what's popping off, what's not popping off. Because now we're starting to see things go up for the week. Look at this. For the week, these guys have been popping off. Tut, what's Tut? Jeez. Tut's a 10. You dropped 2 zeros. You 100x'd? Tutorial? So, I mean, there's possibilities out here. If you're in on the right little poop coin at the right little time, you can do some good, but you have to chase a bunch of them, not knowing what's going to pop off, when it's going to pop off, why it's going to pop off, who's popping it off. Is it a scam? Most of them are scams. A lot of them are. They just are. Or vaporware, or just overinflated for their value. Remember, one of the things we forget about here in crypto is that if you take the market cap for some of these coins, which is just a bunch of little people, used to be as open source stuff that they'll add here or whatever. Think of a few little nerds, just across Zoom meetings or whatever. Just, okay, I'll do this part, you do that part. And it becomes worth more than, say, Amazon or something along the lines, which has some major company, Citibank or something like that, has big office buildings, skyscrapers, all this stuff. They have brick and mortar places, real estate, and they have a market cap that a value there to that company. Versus, this we got a token out, and it's a software code. Yeah, it's software. No, look. Oh. You want me to limit how many coins? Okay, wait. Okay, just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. That's why this market is it's That's why they call it a bubble. Okay. Crypto has got one of the most elastic. It's like if this was bubble gum. Yeah. You remember Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that girl that blew the biggest bubbles? Yeah, this is the gum that can get that big. It can. So be real with yourself about that, and then you're all right. But if you're going in thinking, I'm going to diamond hand and hold this coin for you, if you haven't learned already, these altcoins, especially the big ones, are going to slap you in the face. They are every time. Just if you know that and want to play it, fine. But if you're thinking, I'm going to, one thing I hate to hear, what just makes my gut wrench when I hear people that are coming into this market and news, I'm cool, I can hold something for 5 or 6 years, and I'm like, you don't get it. You don't get it. There is no 5 or 6 year hold. One of my friends told me that a few years ago. I'm going to hold this card on. Maybe he did. I don't know. I can hold this for, you don't want to hold these altcoins from cycle to cycle. You just don't. You don't have no guarantee they're going to be around the next cycle. You don't have a guarantee they're going to be around 6 months from now. There's a lot of altcoins, they get good, they get a lot of attention on them, and there's a hack, there's an exploit, there's something that goes wrong, and then boom, that's the last you hear of them. They just slowly fade out. I mean, there's always something. There's hacks going on and all that stuff. You guys seen about the MetaMask and all that, some of the browser. Yeah, you can't trust those. You can't trust a hot wallet at all. I made a warning a long time ago, man, that you got to, that's why I started with the Tangem thing. You got AI in the game now for the hackers. Don't think they ain't using it, and they're clever AF in the ways that they're going to be using it to get to you. We haven't seen the brunt. I mean, this is only the beginning. It's going to get a lot worse, from things that make you think something's real, fooling you, and things that just outright sniff out the seed phrases from little exploits. And well, my seed phrase is on your computer. If you got a hot wallet on your phone, Exodus, Trust Wallet is one of those. All those, they're vulnerable. Now, Tangem Wallet's got, they got an app there, but, this is air-gapped wallet. Whatever, it doesn't have to be Tangem that you go with for your wallet. I do shield them because, I love mine. It takes you, whenever you get a Wi-Fi, when you get a new wallet, it takes you a while to build up confidence in it. And I'm going to just put a little, I don't know if I trust you or not. I've got some others and things that I use too, but they got to be air-gapped hardware wallet, and the rule is get your coins on there as much as possible. And I've got mine on here, but I moved a lot to an exchange to do a play spot margin. I really want to get them back off the exchanges. I want to get them on here so I feel better about it and help me weed out which ones I'm going to keep and stuff in the way. But here are some guys that are popping off. I'm starting to get all over the place, but 66% right here. Most of it is TUT in the week, so that's an anomaly. What else has been popping off? Oh, one thing that we could do is where did TUT come from? See, that's what I'm saying. You did something just out of the blue, and then you got everybody chasing it. One thing, I haven't done this, or am I logged in? This is what's going on over on Tokenmetrics. I'm logged in over here. Cool. So what's trending right now is Epic, Coma, and Solana. Plume. I know what Solana is. The recently turned bullish is Gate Milady Coin. Are you back bullish again? Ton Coin's getting bullish. That's cool. Ton's been under. Ton is undervalued, man. I like Ton Coin. I think it's a possible winner right there. If they just the reason it was doing really good, and then the thing in France or whatever happened, and I don't know. They've been on. They forced Ton to take a back seat several years ago. I mean, was it 2 cycles ago? Ton was on to doing something really, really cool with blockchain and the apps. What they can do now, but how the SEC and all that stuff came in. I wouldn't fade it. I wouldn't fade Ton Coin. And she's still pretty cheap. Let's take a look at Ton Coin. I'd like to look at some that are more solid projects that might be doing some good. And I see Mexi's gotcha. Ton's at 360. She got all the way down to 240, 250 there. So a nice 786 retracement in there, man. I like that. So just off the bat, we're going to be looking for a possibility to come up to that guy.
In the chaos, I find the signal. In the noise, I see the details. With every trade, I grow.
Nice, we're testing this area.
Market, I stay alive. Crypto patterns, they come and go. Stay ahead, let the market flow.
If I were looking at ton for like a midterm hold idea or something like that, these are the targets I'd be looking for. $7.07, maybe even up as we get a higher high there, about 9. 919 might come into play, but this was the one that would be the best I think we'd hope for on this one, considering where we are. But she's doing some nice things here. She's still got some rejection. Still got. We don't have the green light just yet. Don't have the green light just yet. Still got. These two areas over here are going to be the most important for short term, though. So for short term plays, like a little swing trade or something, I'd be looking at these guys. So when I'm doing TA, I'm kind of putting out things that could help you both long term and short term. It just depends, because I don't know what you guys are doing. But these are just some ideas to if you're hanging out with me. Just I always trust your TA over my TA. You have the best TA to follow for you. I'm just showing you what I see, and maybe I see something you didn't see. And there's probably a lot of things that you see that I don't see, or maybe, sometimes I might agree with them, sometimes I might not. But there's a nice little possibility that what you could be seeing, what the way the setup is. It's red. Let's make him red. That's not red. What we could be seeing on a situation like this is that we get rejected. Maybe you make a higher high, but this means that we could be ranging here, or we're coming down. Either way, but we could have just be ranging here and then have to start working on something, and that can happen. But the level we got here, this is the area to accumulate through here if you like Toncoin, and I think that's pretty cool. She's got some stuff to do, but this one might be one to put on your. I don't think this one. I think this one's gonna do some stuff. Just me ideas. Oh, nice channel that you lost there. Just looking at some ideas there. Toncoin might want to. Doesn't mean buy now. She can definitely come back to $3. Might be one. That's what I'm looking at. Got a little breakout going on right now with the bump and run pattern, and that pattern suggesting it might come up to $4 or something, but then we got to figure out what's going on. Reese John says, sorry for the chat, limited amount of letters you can write. Oh, I probably need to come back to the chat here. Let's do that. See what you guys are talking about, because I'll get off on a chart, man. I won't come back here. Tutcoin, I remember that. Good Lord, 5,000%. I know, it's crazy. I like lines too. Ready to start learning patterns. Hey, there you go, Kelly. I like patterns. They simplify. As long as you don't have to get. I think the way that I show you is a good way. If you kind of focus on these bigger shapes, zooming out, and this was not what I wanted to hear when I first got. I wanted the. Well, what about the head and start of the cups and handles? Not, believe it or not, all that stuff fits in here if you zoom out enough. But when I started, I didn't want to hear this either. But it turned out the OGs were right. They were right. They were telling me right from the get go. I just like, whatever. This is back in my bot days and on Bitcoin Talk. And whatever. I said, yeah, that rocket science, and you got a simple system. I don't know. They made it sound too easy, but we'll go over it. But Thomas Bukowski, it's a great place to, whatever. Use him as a source, and you can't go wrong, in my opinion. Thank you, Ave. I appreciate that. JG says DCA. Do not fade that strategy. I'm telling you, don't fade it. And a lot of your big YouTubers you're out here are the ones that are claiming to be the fantastical traders. And some of them, we got some good traders out here. We got good people out here. But they all respect DCA. And there's a reason. It's got a good proven track record. Dollar cost average. It really does. Oh my gosh, better get some anti-malware protection on your computer. I need to do everything probably. For real. Glittery Marshmallow. I like lines, patterns, and patterns bubbles get me pop. They do. I was a holder, learned a lesson the hard way, but learn. Yeah. And that's the hard. It's hard. But and who did I see? They were bringing up some really good points today. It was some OGs in the space here. It's a girl and her husband, and I think they're somewhere in Costa Rica, somewhere like that. They expatriated, but Holly, they've been in the game for a long time. But what she hit on that video is so true. You see your account and the numbers go up. This is like me. I was like, oh yeah, and you're at that point. It was like, is it greedy? Am I greedy, or am I just excited this is finally working because you got so many X's? But you hear stories of all these other X's. Man, I did 100X on my portfolio. You're like, well, should I hold on more? Right when it's when it's at the perfect time to sell, we're just like, oh man, well, we're up decent enough to where I feel confident in this, and then it jumps. You're not taking profits. That's the pattern that keeps happening to me. But the thing is true. We look at that, whatever balance that we see on our account, and we treat it like it's realized profit, and it's not. It's not realized until you sell. It's just a number on the screen. And you look at that, and she was right, and that's what goes on in the back of my mind that I'm trying to work on. But you see it up there, and then you're feeling all good, and you think, yeah, you got to see your account. I mean, what if you have an account and all of a sudden it's like at $500,000 or something? Yeah, we're going to be having a little pep in your step, and you see that on YouTube already, right? Yeah. Yeah, you think you're a genius. She hit on all this stuff, and you start feeling like you got the special gift to see the market in the certain way. You got that special subconscious mind trained to make you just stand out in front of everybody else. You pick all them right little winners, and there's a part of the market where it will feel that way. And if you got ego, oh my gosh, that's such a trap. That is such a trap. I think people with ego are the most likely ones to roller coast it, to really, really ride the roller coaster up and down, because they're getting the wrong voices in their head at the times. That's my theory. I think I'm right on it. It's hard enough not to do that with a bunch of ego, but that's what comes into play, and that's what happens with us internally. A lot of this is psychology. A lot of the execution, how well we execute our plays here, the real success factor, in my personal opinion. And it's the voices in our head, and those voices can be influenced by other people that we watch on YouTube and things like that. And and you do want to safeguard that. You do want a good space, but then there's some people out here telling you that they are that space, and I don't know. And copy trade me. If you copy trade me, you would be up, and like if I copy traded you all the other times, what would have happened? I don't know. I'm not a fan of copy trading at all. What goes on in your head is going to affect how you play this market. And so you do need to have a good positive mental attitude, and you do need to talk to those voices in your head, but don't, the voice that you don't need to have in your head is that I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. You don't want that overconfident thing. You always want that, man. You got to be humble in this market. If you're not, it will humble you at one point or the other. It just will. The only thing that might stop you from being humble, I mean, if you got a big old passive stream of income that's coming in, then you can throw that into your crypto, and that's great. Then you probably, it'll take you a little bit longer to be humbled with that other stream of income coming in. But if you were just all in the market, then it really depended on how well that you executed everything. Yeah, there's a lot more here's your ass handed to you kind of situations there. Heard a few people say 4-year cycle is now dead due to crypto maturing. Thoughts? I don't believe it at all. It's never that happening. Is always going to be there. That's what makes the cycle. The happening every 4 years. It's not going to change. What you will see, and I've talked about this before. This is what I think that you will see. I mean, this is your 4-year cycle in length. Okay, let's just say that. And let's say this is your happening. Okay, so it happens. Let's just say it's here. Let's just say the bottom of the top, the bottom of the market is here, and the top. We're at the bottom. We do all this stuff, and whoa, we come up to the top and we peak there, and then we start, the bear market. Let's say that's what's going on. This is a terrible looking chart, but hey, that's what happened, right? So it's that odd. Well, I kind of did that wrong, didn't I? I did that wrong. It's because this would be our complete 4-year cycle. So this would be from I don't know, bottom. It would be like this. Okay. What I think you might be seeing is, I guess they call these maybe a shifted cycle. So like this would be your top. That's when you should sell. This would be your bottom right now, right? So bear market starts here. I mean, technically your bull market. I'm forgetting somewhere. Bear with me. So the happening is never going to change. That's going to happen regardless. That's going to happen again. If we were to repeat this, that didn't work, did it? Repeat the cycle, we got the happening, happens again, and a similar situation. I think what we might see is shorter bear markets, if that makes sense. And I don't think we'll get quite. I think we can start seeing longer bull markets. I think they might extend a little bit more, and we start seeing little shorter, and that would be cool. We could, make our higher highs, and then we come back down and dump wherever we dump, which is probably, it's probably that we started all over again. That's the kind of idea that I'm seeing. I'm seeing where they can, the bear market section can get a lot shorter, but the happening is going to keep happening. It's just going to be there every time. It was, where'd I have it? So I forgot. However, we did it. But the happening is always going to be there. It's just always going to be there. And then there's going to be the effect. There's going to be less coins and the supply, and it's just going to keep going and keep getting more and more back. That is my take on it. That's how I see it happening as the asset matures. And you got the global adoption and all that. We'll have to see. We got a lot of chat going on. Cool, thank you guys. 31 people hanging out. Reese John, do you think XRP will trace back to $2 or under? Let's take a look at it. Thank you for super chat. XRP. Finance is a good place. Oh crap, what have I got going on here? Bearish Mac. See, this is why I like to keep these things, because they bearish MACD cross on the weekly down. What was I thinking? What was I doing? Okay, let's start with the weekly first. Yeah, I'm kind of liking my little notes here. Okay, so the thing about XRP that I wanted to point out, and this is what's going on the weekly. So it should be in a downtrend, or it's got bearish sentiment. She's starting to round out, so that's something to keep an eye on. That's why I wanted to put my note there. So I'm going to come to the weekly and see how what is this? Why are you moving? What is, I'm confused on that. What is this? Anyway, I don't ever remember seeing that. Don't know how I got there. On the weekly, let's see, our indicators look kind of okay. We're just sandwiched in between the 9 and the 21. So can it go back to $2? Yeah, it can. Will it? It's got indecision doji on the week. That's interesting. Here on the daily, or 3-day, it's pumping up. 3 days of you're sandwiched in between them again, but you're above the 9. 3-day MACD is starting to look bullish. That's good. I think some people were talking about shorting XRP. I heard somebody did open a short. Yeah. And we're at an area of resistance right now that we could come up and roll over. So we might not get past 270. We got those, but you do have this double bottom idea. This is why this is a partial decline out of this pattern. That this is a signal that this could be ready to break out. So I'm not convinced that shorting would be the smartest play at the moment, from what I'm seeing. I mean, I see the bearish crossings here, but I can see a recovery. This looks like a flush out to me. Look, shoulder, head and shoulder to the downside. That's probably what might be behind that idea. Yeah, it says one, and it could, but it can also this idea, shoulder, head and shoulder. If this was it, was invalidated right here with that higher high. It was invalidated. So that's some things you need to know. That's not always out there. Is what invalidates a pattern. When does it become invalidated? Well, that idea will become invalidated right there. And now you can see that, well, that idea ain't working out. Now it's got a 72% chance to break to the upside, to be honest with you. This is partial decline. But shoulder, head and shoulder. Well, yeah, they don't always work out. That's why we have something called busted patterns, and that's what I like about Thomas Bukowski. We got to do this. We're not going to go into detail, but I'm just going to point out that he does do busted. Like if you look up at head and shoulders, yeah, see, he got head and shoulders tops busted. Some ideas of how that doesn't work and things like that. He goes into some cool stuff over there. And there's ways to play busted patterns too, if you want to dive into that. But here we look, you could say we got to break out of a channel. All right, so this is what I got on the daily. We're above the 9. When we're above the 9, I'm going to tell you everything's fine, especially on the daily. It's got some warning signs, but the momentum's there. So can we go back to 2 is the question. Let's dive in a little deeper. Let's go to the 4 hour. I'm going to actually, you know what? I'm going to clean out all the stuff I've got here. No, I don't want to erase them. But we're going to keep our eye on that. Now, because we got that bearish cross, we may have seen most of it if it's starting to roll over a little bit. But the weekly, what I'd like to see here that would make me feel better is if these candles start lightening up, if they start turning pink. We don't have that yet. So I don't think it's necessarily out of the woods, but it's looking really bullish right now. I think if you're shorting it, you might be sweating that idea. Or might be going into some drawdown for any kind of shorts. Oh man, now I can't zoom yet. What's going on? I feel like I can't zoom in the way I want to here. Here we go. All right, so 4 hour. What we got going on here? Ooh, you're trying to work on a little. I mean, there could be a bearish flip going on here. I can see under the ribbons, but you still got the momentum here at 800, 600, and 300. Looks choppy, honestly. If I had to say what I thought, I would think that we're just kind of in a range. I think we're in a range with XRP. I think this tool would probably be one of the better ones to use. I want to clear this out. Sorry. Now for the strategies that I use, well, let me go ahead and pull that thing back up. Let's see what the whole thing look like. I can see that. I can see that. Let's take it here. We should get more of a tighter range that we're in. And it's suggesting maybe 268. All right, let me break out my ideas here. We're below the 200 there. Let me go to the daily. Well, I want to look at the daily. Bearish cross there. Let's just break down this one and see what. Ooh, 0.5 retracement. Do you want my prediction on where this could go? For real? Well, I mean, we'll get the hopium long-term forecast idea, I guess, of where it could. And there's even bonus targets for this one. You didn't square up. Oh my god. Come on, let's take a trade. Baby, let's take a trade. Through the bulls and bears. Oh yeah, let's take a trade. The place where it tells me that we could realistically hit for major pivot points would be 539, about 540, 502. So we're around $5. Measure move. AB equals CD. Actual move takes us up to right at 490. Those are on the table for major pivot points down the road in months in a row. So I don't know when. Now, okay, so we got that idea. Now we gotta see this guy. And I'm not swearing that will play out. There is this one anomaly where we did wick below, and that might be why my square is not coming up, and that may affect it. Normally they square up pretty good, and things squaring up, it goes into some of Gann's stuff, so I have a little bit less confidence on some of that things, but here we do have some channel ideas. And you do seem to be having a breakout right now. So I like that idea. Look at that. We got the little chain link fence going on right here. Speaking of chain link. So we got our angles that we can work with here. So that's kind of cool. We got no idea to where to put this one just yet. Unless you want to, do your little move ideas. And that magically takes us up here to some cool little fib levels. A little conflict right there. 361 looks like a nice higher high to get. Nice little target. There might be one above it there, but that's the first one I would be going with. Oh my god, what the hell? Let me take this off because it looks a little bit too confusing. The most important things to look like right now is this line and that. I'm starting to, man. I used to hate when I'd see people do something like that. I don't have the angle just right on you, do I? Closer. Oh, the other one could be coming into play too. Let's not forget him though. This one is one we want to go with. Actually, this one right here. This whole little zone here. I'm just gonna, well, that one on the back burner. This would be the main guy. And that's about at 405 up to 410 right in that little area. For shorter term plays, for our little higher high, I mean, I could see us doing that. And there should be a little hiccup here about 361. That's my prediction. I would be sticking with it, and I'll post it. So we can come back in a few weeks and say, Road Dog, you suck. Didn't do none of that crap. And we'll But this, it's doing this stuff where my strategies or my things really kind of shine, honestly. So like I was saying, for you guys that are like swing traders and midterm holders and stuff like that, I think I'm your guy. But if you're a day trader, I'm probably not your guy. So we're going to take this and post this over here. Thank you for the so let's see, XRP. I'm going to label this as a swing and midterm hold profit targets. Based on Fib Magic. So that would be how my Fibonacci forecast for how the pivot points to play. And what I like to do is I can enter a trade based on this. This is just how I look at this market. and apply my strategies to it. And if I can get the right little trading tool thing. So if we got a possible breakout, this is a great place to be looking. I'm on the daily. We look at the idea here. Stop loss, if you wanted to do it for the real and go to the last candle idea, you'll be taking 22%. That's crazy ass. We're on the daily. I'll just go under, at most, just right under that daily candle, or maybe under the 9-moving average. That narrows it down to 4%. That increases our risk reward ratio. You're looking for at least a 3 or 4 risk reward ratio. So if you wanted, you can bring your stop loss down here. Anything getting back below this red line would invalidate this idea in my. So I wouldn't want to do that. But I kind of like this idea. That means the stop loss would be about 221. Not bad. So do I see it going back to $2? Not at the moment. I see it's got a good chance to try to come up here to 3. I'm saying it might take it a while to get there. It could take weeks. Or to get bullish on this news that the lawsuit's over. What I'll say that's good for it, you're on the daily, what the daily's telling me. I mean, she's getting some rejection here, so she'll come back down. You can probably get in even cheaper, and that would increase your risk reward ratio. Putting stop loss below this candle. Here's where I look at it. Listen, I got a trend line here. If this trend line breaks, this idea's over. So I could even tighten up my stop losses below here, below the 9-moving average, below that candle. Have it even, play an even bigger position with, and be cool with it just if the trade goes a long way. I think you have a better risk reward ratio in doing it this way, as close as you can to the main trend line and to any trend line when you make a play in entry. So this one can come back and give even better entries. What I'm trying to say is at 248 right now. Stop loss is below 220 right there. But you got the idea that this 9 is one to try to cross over that 21. If that happens, that's bullish AF, and this might hold and we'll break out. You also got these wicks over there, so we don't want to fade that, because really, if you're going to play trend lines, that just tells us. Sometimes I'll do them this way. Put I don't even know if you can see that. Can you see that? Put it on the 1 pixel. We'll put it on 2 so it'll show up better. And that's got 1, 2, 3. That's a valid trend line right there. That means that 280s could be where it rolls over, and then we go sideways and try to figure this out. But that's a that's an area that we could get find some pivot from, and there might be a little fib over there. Is there? Why, yeah. There's the 618 right there. Look at that idea. See how this stuff just all kind of interacts and everything, and anytime X marks the spot, that's how I kind of look at that. So I get 2 things that kind of cross and correlate or something. I'm paying more attention to that, and that helps me to be more accurate in some of my calls. It's just those little things, how the little ideas even talk to each other, how the little different strategies talk to each other, tell me a lot. It's a lot of reading in between the lines. But it's not hard. It's just, just being aware that, I could also look at it this way. I could look at it this way, look at it that way. What happens what if they had a baby together? Oh, well, then look, it's a 618. I don't know. So that's an idea. So you could have a short-term trade there, and you could really tighten up your stop loss. I mean, there's lots of ways you could play this. Look, even just going below here at the candle, it's not the greatest. I don't know. If it comes down, I mean, you could get a 4-to-1 if the price comes down, and you'd still get a 4-to-1 play. But this is just the daily for a bigger play. That I think that'd be cool. And now let's come down to the smaller time frames for XRP. A lot of people are finally starting to look at this one. A lot of people scoffed at it for years and for cycles, and it was frustrating to play. And I remember when it was 50 to 70 cents, it was hard. There was so much volatility in XRP. You had to be really loose on your leverage if you're doing perpetual futures, or you'd find yourself getting liquidated or stopped out, just like every other bit. So a lot of people like to trade it as a trader coin, but it had lots of volatility. I don't think I need to leave anything there. So smaller time frames, those wicks are actually candle bodies at some point, and so if you're drawing trend lines, that's going to affect it. That's why it's good when you zoom out to include that idea, because it will show some resistance areas. I think she's just trying to recover. She's trying to recover. We still got, what are we on, the 4 hour? 800, 600. We're there talking to Lucy right now. Miss Little Lucy is sitting right in there. And making the deal with the devil as we speak. And if the devil lets us pass, then we'll be granted free reign to go up. And I guess we ride the train with it if it starts doing that. It's got some stuff to work out, but I wouldn't be as concerned about it coming down here as I would. I'd look for it to maybe get 283 before it would see $2. At worst, see just coming back to retesting these areas. I don't see that. It could change, but I don't see it. Bigger moving averages are still bullish. I mean, and I think we can hit up here or higher. Hope that helped. That's just my take. Yeah, don't say he said it. I mean, that's what I'll stick with what I'm saying, but don't, go with what you see. Go with what you see. Just take that as a grain of salt. Reese John says, thank you. You think, oh, no, that wasn't it. I thought. EW says, say thank you for the show. Can you check Trog for gets and shiggles? I sure can. Let's go ahead and check out Trog. Thank you for the super chat, both of you guys. I forgot what Trog did, but you ask about it a lot. Is it a meme? It looks like the bottom idea is it's holding, right? Cool. So these were the ideas. These are the areas, we can fib them out and set limit orders and just wait for them to get hit if you have that option or something. And it looks like a couple of them did. So we had a trend line here tracking it, right? I'm on the 4 hour? Let's just go back in hindsight because we've looked at this one before, and I know I posted over in the group before, but I haven't looked at it since then. So I'm going to adjust my trend line here. Bring it to candle bodies just for this time frame. Oh man, don't sneeze. So one idea here that I talk about, how do you know when's a good entry? This is one way to look at it. Bigger time frame here. And you see that we're breaking a trend line. This will be buying the breakout. Well, yeah, but there's certain things to look for. I mean, some people are looking to buy it down here, and that's cool. But one way that you can look for it, you don't. Sometimes when you hear about a coin, you hear about it, and you don't get the perfect entry, and you got to look for ways to get in, and different ways to get in. And I guess flagging them out to the upside is one way to do it, but there's a lot of other ways to do it too that you can get some good juicy entries. There's always different ways. The trend lines are a good way. So breaking above there, and once it cleared above the 9 moving average, that's a signal for me. And that's on the 4 hour. So let's just say, you did a good entry there at breakout. That thing went up, was it 37%? Oh man, I was hoping this would be like one of those 300% things. Sometimes they are when you pull them on these. So a 30% gain and just had these areas to get paid a little bit. 18%, take out 10, 15, 20, 25%, whatever you want to take out here, whatever take out there, and limit order, and then you got dry powder. Call it dry powder. Then you guys you got money that you can put in, funds you can put in at different stages of the game. Build a little bag while we're underneath this area as much as we can. If we come back to it, or if we step, we work and figure out how to do it on the way up there. This is looking good. It's starting to look good. She's still got some stuff to do. So she's still below, she's still in her she came back into our discount zone. So we might even be coming all the way back down to, what is this, 41,179. It could happen. Not saying it will, but it could. And that's just, those are opportunities to get back in and then play it up and wash, rinse, repeat. Put those orders back in, wait for them to hit, in my opinion. So where she could come back down to, she could come back all the way back down here. It's not very much. Maybe drop 10%, but if you add to your bags there, whatever you add to your bags and come back up, you come back up 12%. Small ideas on it. Let me come back to the chat here. Whoa, we got lots of stuff going on here. My XRP believer. I never bought into it because I just think there's got too many coins. That's why it moved like from molasses for so long. But I think that it's finally at a point to where it wouldn't have had so much opposition if it wasn't a threat to the bankers and the banking system. I think this technology was dismissed by the banking system, and we're talking about reserve banks, Federal Reserve banks, and they trickle on down to the bigger major banks and corporations, and they saw, because it's an archaic system. That was why that's why one reason why we needed Bitcoin and blockchain. And I think they just, they dismissed it and then kind of looked at it sideways, and or they liked the technology behind it. They liked it, but they didn't, as far as the projects and crypto out there, they didn't give a crap about it. But they've been secretly using it for a long time, even going privately between themselves. They just want to they want control over it, and they tried like hell. That's what Choke Point 2.0 was. To suppress it, keep your foot on its neck while you kind of finagle things around to your advantage. That's what they were doing, and they used people like Elizabeth Warren to carrying that stuff out. Do not like Elizabeth Warren. I hope the dirt comes out on her. I think there's some dirty stuff going on with that woman, and I can't wait to find out about it. I hope she gets exposed. I don't like how they dump on the supply holder. And that's true. And a lot of it, I think, goes back to Jed McCaleb. No, is that the guy? I think that's the one I'm thinking now. One of the early founders came out, and he was able to sell, I forgot how many millions or billions of these tokens like every month. That went on for years. That was suppressing the price. He was the guy who exited Mt. Gox right before it fell. He sold it or whatever right before it went under, and then he exited XRP right. I don't know. There's something suspect with that dude, but he founded XLM, Stellar Lumens, which is it'll follow XRP too. They're kind of similar, I think, in what they're trying to do.
Dreams I can't dismiss.
I could really see you with a wiener dog. They're cute. They're fun dogs. You can carry around like a football. Well, my wife is allergic to dogs. I love dogs, but my wife is allergic to them, so we don't have one. We do have a cat that acts like a dog, though. It's a breed of cat called Cornish Rex, and they are a little bit more doggish than they are cattish, so that's kind of cool. He's a real cool cat, though. He likes to play, and he likes to come down into the basement with me. Haven Peck says, no, is trading anyone could... Oh, I think I'm missing some conversation. Haven says, oh, there we go. I won my XRP in 2019, a Femex trading contest. I sold half for Sheep, but it's still there. Don't worry, I only got third. Hey, Haven. You were killing. I remember when you were here, you were killing it with Solana. You were killing it with Solana, and then you come back, you exited the market, and then you came back. Hey, I'm starting to think you got some skills that I don't know about. I was thinking last cycle that you were that you were a learner. I'm starting to think no, that you got 2019. You wanted to trigger that? You got some skills I wasn't aware that you had. I'm starting to think that wow, you've got some good skills going on there. How you timed all that and the re-entry, that's kind of slick, Haven, I must say. Taking that in context now. Kelly L says, I'm 50% Native American. Grew up on the rest. Hey, shout out to you. My clappies don't work, Kelly. Why are you not working, clappies? My clappies get working. I don't know how we got on that, but I think that's cool. There's some Native American ancestry in my family, and I'd hear the stories, and then I'm always told, well, you got about enough to fill out your fingernail, road dog. But it was just nice, and then I got on Ancestry.com and did all that, and I was like, well, where's it at? It's not showing up. So then I thought, well, I guess those were lies. But then again, after a few years, Ancestry.com got its stuff in line, and then it showed up, and so maybe the stories weren't true. But it's just I've always liked that in my history, even though we're not in the culture or anything. And that's really what makes it is the culture, and I want to see all the cultures stay alive, because I know that the Cherokee band that my family, parts of my family came from, them moving everything out, it just sucks. Luckily, we got Cherokee, North Carolina, that kept a lot of that culture alive. But those guys, Trail of Tears, drove them all over to Oklahoma, and so now It's different. It just sucks. Anyway, they're treated very badly here. And it's a shame that a country as great as the U.S., you know, that we got things to be ashamed of in our history. We do. And of course, you can see now, you know, we've probably got a lot of things that's going to come out that we need to be ashamed of. A lot of things need to come to light, man. A lot of things need to come aligned. A lot of changes need to be made. Trog, I see it. Finding support and trying to do some stuff. That looks pretty good. But you're in Alaska, right, Kelly? That's cool. Jedi Flip Flops. Hey, man, how's it going? Could you please check out PSL Silver Trust? Okay, make sure. So it's not going to be crypto. That will probably be under. I could go with all, but I'm just trying to see if I can. Don't we have commodities? I thought they would have a. Maybe I'm looking at that wrong. Sprott Physical Silver Trust. We got it on the New York Stock Exchange. Let me see what we got. Ooh, look at you, 11. 11? You're at a top? Possibly. Double top, maybe. We gotta zoom out. Let's zoom out. Let's go big time. Look at this on the monthly. Silver. Oh, that's an ETF or something? Trust. So cool. Look what happened here. See how that became resistance? That little fib broke out, and that's a good sign. So we're probably through with this area now. I mean, we might come back to 879. It could happen. Bigger scheme of things. Now, look at this. We're testing out the 382. So this is a make or break moment right now for this asset. And she might get rejected and come back and retest this. That's highly probable. Especially if you're looking at, you know, the idea if you connect the dots, you're in kind of like a channel idea, right? That works pretty good. So I would kind of keep this idea in mind that in the bigger, I mean, on the monthly. Yeah, and maybe we could go $12, $13, but you still got this range of 13. So between $9 and $13, something like that idea is kind of the range that you're in. I would look at it as a channel and a kind of a range. But your higher target, if we can get out of this range, your best next level would be 1371, and we might get. It might be trying to work up there. It may not hit it with this channel idea, or it may be about in summertime before it gets there. If it does, from what I see here. So that's what the weeklies or the monthlies tell me. Let's go to the weekly. Well, let me go back here on the monthly. Let's pull up some other things here before we get out of here. This is cool. This is the monthly, and it's not yet confirmed, but they're saying, hey man, this could get bullish this month. So maybe we are leaning a little bit toward this little guy. Maybe. Now some people would look at this monthly, you draw a little line there, and then you're technically getting a breakout here of level, you know, if you're going level by level, and that's safer to go with. It's safer to make these plays on the bigger time frames if you see something like that. On the smaller ones, it's a little bit more risky in my personal opinion, but on the monthly here, above the 9, that looks good. You're above the 9 on the monthly. This is good. So let's look at that. If the 618 is going to be an area to contend with. I'll put these two targets. I'd put those on your radar. 1589 as a bonus target, but the 13, I can see us going to 13. That's actually looking strong on the monthly. Let's jump down to the daily and just kind of see it. Daily, it's saying she might want to do a pullback here. And I want to follow this trend line. Now, we might be looking on their 1 hump, 2 hump, 3 hump dump correction, and I could see, you know, $10 retesting this area back here. 200 moving average on the dailies down there too. So the range somewhere, it could come down from 9 to 13 on the bigger picture, but smaller, it may only come back to 250 there. So me personally, I would look at it this way. It's short term if I'm playing it. This area 12 to 13. If we're going to make a higher high, and pivot and then come back down for a retest, I would be looking at those guys shorter term, like over the next few weeks or whatever. So that would probably be my call, my local call, that we might be seeing those over the next few weeks, and that's just about 5 to 8% gains there. I'll take this the daily, and we could be making a double top scenario here, even if it's just a little higher. You know, it goes up, corrects, goes up, corrects, goes up, corrects. And if you follow it, you can kind of get a feel for what she does. Ooh, that was a good one actually right there. So a 6-1 at one point, there's probably a 618 correction here that led to this 414 that are 0.5. That's not the same retracement. I'm still sticking with the levels I've got there. But let me post this over into the Telegram group. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Your boy's about to get a little bit tired, and it's about time for Joe to be streaming, so but I'd probably put him home and fall asleep. I don't even have to tap chat on him. This is live chat. Make sure I got all. Oops. Fan funding. Make sure I got all that. This is fan funding. Oh, glittery marshmallow. I saw my first pat. Oh, I didn't see that glittery marshmallow. Thank you for that. I'm trying to clap. My hand clappies are not working anymore, but hey, I missed that super. I'm sorry about that. I saw my first pattern today. I'm very excited. Thank you, Road Dog Crypto. I'm learning so much good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that this is helping. That you're the type of person I wanted to reach right there. And that's awesome. That's what I like. That's what makes me so happy. And I like that. Yeah, I'm trying to remember to like that. And Kelly L. Okay. We got. Thank you so much, Kelly L. and John Rishi and EW for the super chats and everything. I'm sorry I missed that glitter marshmallow. I hope you're still here to hear me. My apology on that. I'm happy for you, excited for that. We're all still at a good point in the market to really take advantage of it. Adjust our strategies and fix what's not working and really focus. But we still got some opportunities coming to get ready, take advantage of the market. All right, so let me take so I was going to post this squirrel. So let me go over here and post this. This was on the daily. This is Sprott Physical Silver Trust. What's the ticker? I keep forgetting. PS. Oh, P Silver. Sprott Physical. This way you got a reference of it. I'm just going to label these as pivot targets. And if we ever ask for this again or anything, I'll leave all this stuff on the chart, and we can come to monitor and see how it does. This is short-term INF. I don't want to forget your big trend lines here. So setting a trend line can help you out. Line in the sand if you see that kind of break. This could be setting up for a bigger three move. This could be a 1 move, a 2 move, 3. We could be seeing that happen. And this idea, I should have just did this. You got the channel idea. See, it falls within this idea there. All right, let's go check out Bitcoin here and see how we're doing. Are we getting a little bit of a come down? Is something happening over here for Bitcoin on the smaller time frames? Are we hanging in there? Is this what I was using today? Was this from the stream today? I can't remember. I had a resistance area. Well, I think we hit one, and then maybe this was the newer one. I think I redid that. I can't remember. So we came back into resistance, so there will be some shorts. This is a 618 Fibonacci. People will be shorting Bitcoin here. Kind of. I'm going to short it. And they can, because it would take our pivot area right here. Yeah, we're going to come back down for Bitcoin and most likely come back. I would say about 84.5, maybe retesting that area. So, shoot, maybe I should work on that right now. But the moving averages, those are starting to look nice, even on the smaller time frame. Nice. So things are starting to look a little bit more bullish, and that's good. And we talked earlier about what we need to see, and we really need to see around 100,000, somewhere through that hit, get that higher high before we can really start feeling more confident that this was a low. Otherwise, we can roll over. There's still some things that can be going on, and those are the things we're going to be struggling with. And you're going to be seeing, just like I said earlier in the market, there's going to be a lot of people going to be flipping mega bullish. The ones that were bearish are going to be flipping mega bullish. And best thing is just to kind of pace ourselves right now. Just be observant and get in the habit of taking profits. That's what we need to get in the habit of, because if you're not in the habit of taking profits, we're going to keep finding ourselves back in drawdown and riding a roller coaster. And I don't think we need to be afraid of taking profits. I think we need to look at profits as being, it feels like when you take profits, you get out of the game. Oh man, I'm out of the game. That's how it feels for me. And we need to remember that, no man, it's planning for the future opportunity. And one of the biggest things that I've struggled with when I would take profit is I would, find myself maybe chasing other setups and putting things in too soon, instead of just taking that out and setting it aside. Set that money aside. So I've been transferring over Tangem wallets, and that helped a lot. So I've got dry powder because I started changing those habits. And what the point I'm trying to make is, look at your habits. Look at your habits. That's what you got to focus on, the habits, because we all got bad habits with trading, and that's where we get caught up. It's not about trying to nail the perfect entry or nail the perfect exit. It's really not. But when it comes to the habits that are hindering our execution, and I showed you some bad habits on my little stream today, on some of the little entries that I got. I was trying to do a little schlong thing, playing both sides, but still there were some bad habits and little things that I saw that were coming out. Oh, you fucking road dog. But that's really what we gotta. I gotta learn the very special indicator, the truth that's going to tell me when to get in, or that little strategy, or that one little secret sauce thing. The TA stuff, yeah, and you can forecast. But it's, even if you can sit here and see, man, even if I can sit here and see here and know I've got a sign here saying this is to the bottom, and I got this area up here that I got as a target. Between there and there is so much going on in my head and everything. If I get into it, if I don't just chill out and let my idea play out, you'll cave in, you'll get emotional or something. And that's why you see, some of these 1 minute guys, they're getting out on the first red candle. Those things are going on, the bad habits and the things going on, and maybe the pressure. I gotta look like the man. And why are and that gets into something else. But it's it's psychology and what's going on inside, and our thinking, and how ego comes in and it will mislead you. That's one of the core things that it talks about in Proverbs and in Psalms, right? And how, especially in Proverbs, how that ego will mislead you, that pride, and it will take you down the road, and you'll get your ass handed to you. In life and in trading, it's just there. You're boastful, proud. That is not where you want to be, and not the influence that you want to influence you. So when you find yourself thinking you're the genius, you're probably yeah, you're probably about to find out just how wrong you were. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out. I'm sorry if I missed any chats or any coin requests, but your dog gets tired and Joe's streaming. I'm going to go hang out with Joe, I believe. But thanks for hanging out. I'll be back again tomorrow, and chart school tomorrow night. Let me go to the end screen here. Still 2. I was shooting for an hour and we almost got 2. How does this happen? I have no sense of time. No sense of time.
Caught in the glow, where the charts collide, dips fade away. I'm on this neon ride, sats in my veins. FOMO's electric spark. Ooh yeah.
So Avi says, what I've learned is I'm a DCA'er and want to be swing trader. You're on the right path. That's good. And you've got skills. I can tell what you I see it in you, Ave, and you can put your own personal touch with what you keep up with the planets and things like that. Yeah. And the things that you posted over on GAN, I think GAN's going to speak to you. And that's cool.
I'm rewriting the game. Neon bull run lighting up the sky.
Haven says, oh, crypto habits.
Flying high. Yeah, yeah. Crypto's glow won't fade my soul.
There we go. There's Joe's channel right there.
Shines, I found my goal.
So you guys can click that and you'll be right over at Joe. Striker says, I keep my ego in my fanny pack. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Did it make sense? Because I never, I don't know what's going to be coming out of my mouth a lot of times on these streams. So I hope that there's something good coming out that people can use. It makes sense. And
dips turn to light. I'm riding this gleam. Every crash.
because I really see you with the tiny dog you can carry around, like Windows 9 for 10. Maybe. Actually, my best. Now I used to honestly. Well, I would always go with small dogs because I had a little one when I was a kid. He was just real cool, and I leaned toward the small dogs and things like that. But then I rescued a little lab puppy at the shelter, and then I fell in love with labs. And she was one of the coolest dogs ever. Used to get on my jet ski with me, and she'd insist on riding with me and everything. And then one day I wasn't going to take her to the lake with me, and she was wanting to go, and she followed me. I was backing up with my jet ski, and she got in the road, and then a truck came and hit her, and it was just so sad. She's only 2 years old, but it's the smartest dog, loved the water, and that just won me over. So it was back in my camping days and all that. So I like labs too. They're bigger, but they just got the biggest heart ever. And I had another lab after her, and she was a beautiful experience too. I had to spend some time away from her for a different reason, and she ended up dying while I was away. Thank you for following. Appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Javi. It is. It's heartbreaking to see anything. I hate death. I don't like to talk about it. Don't like to be, it's just sounds stupid, but there's just that little part of you. It's like, why does it even have to be that way? I mean, logically, yeah. I mean, you can't have overpopulation of everything, whatever. Biologically, doesn't make any sense, but death is just one of those things that, it's like, it's just bewildering, and it's a natural part of life, sadly.
Bitcoin's mine, can't you tell? Moon so close.
I guess there's lots of lessons to unpack there. Well, I'm not trying to tell a story. Yeah, there's just to reflect in there.
Pump it.
But I think, when COVID hit and everything, and I was starting to see people die, and I had family die from that. Some cousins my age, like all the people that I grew up with and so close to when I was a kid. I was in a little area in a rural town, and we were really close, and some of us were related, and my cousin was my best friend, but they're all gone, and it just makes me think about things a lot. And I don't like talking about death, especially now, but I hear other people always bring it up a lot, and it's like, I don't want to. But it makes you think about things, so it puts me in perspective to be very grateful for every day that I have. Because my friends didn't have that. They just gradually, for whatever reason, you died young, and that's just so sad. I only got my kittens, says Chris Klein. I've already caught myself thinking that, yeah. But luckily cats live, I mean, it's weird, but cats have a longer life than dogs, so you got that. And I think dogs get the short end of the stick, man. They only live, anywhere from 7, maybe 14, 15 years if you're lucky. They deserve to live longer, man. They're so cool. Yeah. Well, let's try to leave on a positive note and just be grateful for every moment in life we have. It's enjoying with our animals, with our family. Try not to let these charts take too much on. I know it takes me away from my family with these charts and things that I do, and it kind of sucks because I'm really trying to do it to not do that. I'm trying to get to that point where to free up all that time and things and ability and financial freedom for my family. And it's been a challenge. Guys, I'll see you over. She housed my music. Hopefully, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. I will see you guys over at Joe's. Thanks for hanging out. Was it the dog wave? There we go.